Okay, so now you're checking your answers, what you guys came up with. And it doesn't have to be worded exactly the same as long as you have those bullet points that I have on here and they are listed on your paper in any type of order, because order does not matter. They can be worded a little bit differently. So when we're talking about economic activities in a civilization, they do have trade. So they trade with other members of the community and other civilizations. They also have a specialization of labor and skills, which means they have different jobs for people. Not everybody is just farming. They are doing other things. They are growing a surplus of food for trade or sell to make money from. And they are making goods for trade or sale. Governments and laws. They have rules that are established by a government to divide lands and resources. The government is there to settle any disputes or conflicts. And the government would also oversee building projects and help with the planning of the cities and settlements. If you need to pause this to write any of this down, please do so now. Now, cities and settlements, they have advanced permanent and comfortable structures built. So they are building houses, for example. The city is planned out in some certain manner. So maybe they have street patterns or the architecture is very similar, like the story that we read last week. They have storage structures, like their storage for extra crops and granaries. And adornment would be things like fountains and statues, things that make things look nice. That came from the story, not so much from the card sort. Language and writing. The language and writing comes from the need to unify the people. They have a common language and writing to make trade and governance easier. And then it also would lead to record keeping in that society. If you need to pause this to finish writing some answers down, pause this now. Now, the last thing on the bottom, I told you could kind of hold off on because there wasn't a lot in the card sort to put on there. A lot of this would come from the reading from last week that we looked at. So for cultural and social systems, some type of social class, social structure emerges among the people. A lot of that comes from the different classes or different jobs that people have. So they have common classes like farmers, craftspeople, traders. You have a higher class system, and they're usually the more wealthy, and they have more influence in government. You get specialization of skills. That's what sometimes can lead to those different jobs. And then you also have religious beliefs and traditions that tie people together. Achievements. All of these are different ways that you can have achievements in a civilization. So one of them might be architecture. Like in the story, it talked about 2-story homes. They had fountains. They came up with the idea of storing food in granaries. The roads were set up very well planned. You can have achievements in technology. Technology back then would obviously be something different than it is now. But back then, if you think back to that story where Maluk went to the civilization, indoor plumbing back then would have been a huge achievement, and that would have been considered technology. You have achievement in fine arts. So you have crafts, you have statues, you have storytelling. There's lots of things that could fit there, different types of music, myths. And you have achievements in agriculture. So you're able to maybe have an irrigation system that you have set up, and you're able to have an excess of crops. So those are all of the things that should be in your graphic organizer. You're going to need this. You really won't need it the rest of the week. These are going to act as notes. So you need to put this somewhere where you can have it after fall break. So somewhere important, you will need this when fall break is over and we return to class. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, pause this if you need to, and I will talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day.